I think I just got to a point where I just felt it in my body that, okay, you know what, you actually are pregnant. So went to Clicks, got that pregnancy stick. I didn't even wait for my man to get back from work. I said, I'm gonna test. You'll see via a video call. So there I was. I went to the public bathrooms and I tested there, guys. I even did the whole dramatic thing, turned it upside down, manifested. I was like, God, please, this is my time to mother. Guys, surviving the symptoms. And I say surviving, and I don't say it loosely, I say it tightly. I'm on the first trimester. That one's gonna deal with you 9-9 because you are nauseous. You are moody. You are so tired. So tired. You feel like, you know what? I don't need to be a mom. Like, I'm good. Hello, hi, beautiful people. Welcome to WomanWizer with WomanWizer. It's your girl. This is yet another episode of the podcast where it's made by me and you, for me and you, and we dive into all things pertaining to life. It's something that's quite personal to me. And I say personal because I'm going through it as we speak. We are talking about baby bumping. We are talking about bodybuilding, if you will. Yes, pregnancy. I want to vent. And remember, like I said, this is a safe space. So I only found it natural for me to want to vent right here, right now. I want to talk about the ups, the downs. I want to talk about everything that was going through my head before, during, my hopes for after, just so we can sit and talk, and hopefully that will inspire some of you guys to come forward with your stories. Maybe you guys are aspiring mothers, you guys are pregnant for the first time, or mothers of many children with so much expertise, or you guys are fathers to be. Fathers right now, I want to hear from everybody, y'all's perspective when it comes to this topic. Because who child in bodla today? Okay, so I want to get straight into it, right? And talk about the before process when it comes to a pregnancy. Yeah, guys, from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to be a mother. Like, in my heart of hearts, I was like, you know what? This is something that is designed and destined for me. I don't even know where I learned that baby from, but I just knew, as a toddler, I'm there with the baby borns, I'm feeding, this is something that I always wanted. So obviously the more I grew up and the older I got, it was getting more real, I remember manifesting as saying to myself, by the age of 24, I want to be married with a kid. And yes, I'm a few years shy of that, but I feel like the manifestation was real, because here I am, 27-year-old and pregnant. But I don't even know why I went straight into the didabas without saying a young shout out to everyone who's been heavy on the social media platforms. Thank you so much, guys, for your engagement. I am so in awe. I mean, all the mother-to-bees, all the mothers already are pouring into my TikToks, my Instagram, obviously congratulating the girl. I really appreciate it. Everyone says, Diagloa. I just feel like a whole sewage pipeline, but that's just me. And, some are sharing their POVs, which is very it's actually quite funny, it's comforting. I actually want to shout out some people. So we've got @Nolu_92, right? She said on my TikTok after I posted about Jay feeling all sorts of pains when it comes to this pregnancy, especially around the rib cage. I know exactly how you feel, Sana. Wait until you reach your third trimester. Who says I'm not already there? Who says I'm not already there? I know I'm just carrying well, but you never know. Anyway, OT, I will feel it even more. And all I can say is I'm excited. Can't you tell? Then we've got Sandy0010. Yena uti the way kungakhona sana. Gati, the baby is saying, move your ribs, mama. The space is not enough for me this side. And I literally feel that conversation happening every time I have to lie on my back like this. But thank you guys so much for those comments. I really do appreciate them, guys. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this journey. But let's get back into the gist. So, for me, right, I manifested. This is something I always wanted. And obviously, I found my partner. We're here now. We're prepping and all that. And then it was the news that I actually am, And I don't know if you guys had seen in a video that I did with my partner. So yes, I've done the manifesting, throughout my childhood, adolescence. I meet my partner, la-di-da-di-da. We meet, we get married, all that cute stuff. And now we've prayed for this baby. Now it comes to actually finding out that, yes, girl, you are positive. You are pregnant. I actually have a little story time regarding that, right? So I think I just got to a point where I just felt it in my body that, okay, you know what? You actually are pregnant. So went to Clicks, got that pregnancy stick. I didn't even wait for my man to get back from work. I said, I'm going to test. You'll see via a video call. So there I was. I went to the public bathrooms and I tested there, guys. I even did the whole dramatic thing. Turned it upside down, manifested. I was like, God, please, this is my time to mother. And then he said, you know what, positive it shall be. Turn it around, and there it was. It was like, 2 weeks. So I knew quite early on that I was pregnant. So obviously over the moon, video called my man, showed him the pregnancy stick. He was over the moon as well. I think we were just so prepared. But no one tells you about how long this journey is. Oh! Ingathi, that saying of watching paint dry. It's literally like that. Because you get this like huge rush of adrenaline, after finding out this amazing news. But now you're already ready to meet this little human. With cells, mind you. But you're so ready to meet this little bundle of joy. And they're telling you have to wait almost a year. Guys, the days are long. The weeks are short, but the days are long. So anywho, now, after that hoo-ha of a moment, it's now trying to figure out how am I going to navigate this, And I think in this point in my life, it was a money versus time situation. I really had to look at the pros and cons of each scenario, Am I focusing on making the money so that at least we've got enough or even more than enough by the time the child comes, but I'm sacrificing downtime, that I get to sort of focus on making this human. So I really had to weigh out the pros and cons, of the two scenarios. Do I focus on working, accumulating enough money or even more than enough money so that we are comfortable by the time giving birth comes around? But then obviously sacrificing the time that it takes to actually make a human being, and all the sacrifices that come with that. Or do I actually focus, just channel my body into trying to make the most healthiest pregnancy happen, so that our child has the best chances of getting all the nutrients and the sleep and all that comes with essentially, having downtime. And I think as I was still trying to navigate that and decide that for myself, the universe, God said, Oga, let me decide for you. That's going to happen, all right? The latter is going to happen. You are going to take this downtime. And obviously, it's very frustrating. There are times where I feel like I'm just not doing enough. I'm not pulling my end of the weight. And, it definitely is frustrating. I'm not going to lie. There are days where you just feel a bit useless. You feel like you're not pulling your end of the bargain. And you want to do a lot more, But I am grateful for the fact that I've been allowed this time to just focus on this, because it actually is very stressful. Hats off to all the mothers who are working while they are pregnant, because it's basically two full-time jobs. And I want to get into the symptoms a bit later, just to give you guys a full scope of how much it is a full-time job. So yeah, and the universe granted me this opportunity, and essentially I'm just chilling and doing this full-time job, which is making a baby, while my partner is then pulling the economical, end of the bargain, which I'm very, very grateful to. And then it's about training the mind, isn't it? You always talk about the changes that are going to happen to the body, but guys, the mental changes are insane. I think you take for granted your mental capacity and you just being unje, walking about in life, when you are compromised. And yes, I say compromised, like you are in pregnancy. The mundane things, the little motivations that you have that are built within you are stripped away, and you have to sort of source it from something else. There are days I don't want to get out of bed, but I have to tell myself, okay, you got to do this in order to at least feel a little bit better. Or you've got, these responsibilities to take care of, and if you don't take care of them, then no one will. And I think just striking that balance between being graceful with yourself, but also creating boundaries with yourself, if you will, that'll actually help you in the long run. It's a skill in and of itself, I do not want to lie. Back to the finding out process. I want to do another little story time about us telling our mothers, right? Two most important people in our lives. So I remember calling Londa's mom, and I think we just sent her the video, right, from the first ultrasound that we have gone to. Sent her, and she called us back, and she's like, what is this now? I think she was in denial. I was like, what is this? And I remember I was telling her that, no, dude, this is like your future grandchild, And it was probably just a bunch of cells, not much to that ultrasound, but I think we're just so excited to share the news with someone, that we shared it with her. And I remember her just leaving everything to God immediately, just saying, oh my goodness, God, must take over and look after you guys. He needs to carry you in this time. I think she was just so worried about everything going right, but it was such a special moment that we could share with her. And she's always wanted a grandchild, or granddaughter specifically, but just gotta continue the Mavunta legacy and gave her a grandson. But we never know. Maybe there are twin girls waiting in our lineage. You just never know. And then it was time to call my mother. And I was a bit nervous, I don't want to lie, because I think my mom has this vision of how she wants my life to be. And I agree with her most of the part, but I think the family aspect of it is something that's quite important to me. So anyway, call her, and also did the same thing. We sent her the video, and she was just over the moon, And I remember just getting so emotional regarding that, because it's like, oh my goodness, I'm her little baby, and I'm basically showing her my little baby, that sort of generational. It was just so cute. And she also just, put blessings over us and was like, girl, my son, I hope you guys are well throughout this journey, and I hope that God continues to bless you guys. You guys are really blessed and all that, So it was really, really a great experience getting to share with our parents. I think also the fact that they're still around, we don't take that for granted. Every day means that we are aspiring to be the adults that we want to be, but our parents, are turning into grandparents. They're getting older. So it really is such a privilege to be able to share news like this and create a generation while the older generation is still around. You know what I mean? All right, now I want to talk about the ups of pregnancy. A lot of people like to talk about the downs of pregnancy, to a point where people on social media like reason number 1032 of why I'm not getting pregnant. And I remember just going through those things on social media being like, guys, it's not that bad. And I'm actually going to tell you why it's not that bad. These are my ups. But remember, as my co-host, I want you guys to tell me your ups of pregnancies. Let's spread around the positivities before we get a bit negative. You know what I'm saying? Because I think there definitely are a lot of ups when it comes to pregnancy, honestly. Beside it being a blessing, beside it being just this magnificent process, I think there are those little tangible moments that you can hold dear to your heart that kind of keep you going, you know. And for me, it's hearing the heartbeat for the first time. Oh my goodness, guys. I think that has to be top 5 best moments of my life, you know. I think also that the instant relief that you feel in that moment, because you know that, oh my goodness, this is actually living, you know. Your body has allowed it to be and it hasn't tried to terminate, you know. So there I was in the doctor's chair, Landa beside me, and they're like, okay, everything looks good. And then he's like, Kopa volume DJ. And I was like, what is that? And it was just like, guys, like he was running a marathon. It goes fast. And I'm like, what is that? Instant tears. And I was like, God, damn, we're doing a thing here. We're doing a real thing. You, little old me, has got 2 heartbeats right now. Crazy. I think that literally is one of my, like I said, top moments. And every time I'm having like a bad day, I like to just go back to that video and listen to it again and again. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to insert it here, guys, because you need to hear my boy just going kiki, 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 kiki. Oh, it's amazing. Another up for me also has to be seeing it move for the first time. I like that it has to do with like the visuals or audio aspect of things. But I think for such a long period of time, you don't necessarily get to interact with this fetus at all. You know it's there. It's making you sick. Like, you know it's there, you know. But when you get to experience it on another level, I think it just makes it a little bit more real, you know, but surreal sometimes. And I think seeing it move was just like, whoa, what is that? And I couldn't feel it, obviously, because I was still very small. But there it was in the ultrasound, and I think he was like swimming or saying hi or whatever he was doing, dancing. And no, it made the heart flutter, do not want to lie. And I think it also became more real for my husband, because it's like, oh my goodness, it's alive. It's a thing that's in there. It's breathing. It's, well, not, is it breathing? No, the heart is just beating. But it's alive. It's alive. And the kicks. The first time I got the kicks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 16 weeks and we're getting ready for bed. And I remember just entering the bedroom and it was like, Coco. I was like, what's that? Everybody stand still. What is that? And I'm waiting for it to go again. And I'm like, no, maybe no, I don't think it's it. You know, because it says that from 16 weeks to 24 weeks is when you're going to start, or no, to 22 weeks is when you're going to start feeling it. So I'm thinking, I'm part of the late squad. I'm probably going to feel it around 22 weeks. Yeah, well, I need to, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a kicks. There's a little flutters from the baby, and it spun my world around one more time, you know. So guys, I could go on and on about the firsts, but those by far have to be the ups of pregnancy, you know. They make this whole journey worth it, this whole entire journey worth it. And also how personal it is, you know. My partner could only, well, yes, he can see from the ultrasound and stuff like that. But I think when it's attached to you, it just feels a little bit more personal. Oh my gosh, he's kicking now. I think he really feels it when I talk about him. But anyway, so it's personal, man. It's like a little bambala, you know, from your little guy from within. So it really does make you feel super powerful, super capable, because the rest of the time you don't feel like that at all. Anyway, like, let's just go to the downs. Let's go to the downs, because, guys, surviving the symptoms, and I say surviving, and I don't say it loosely, I say it tightly, because you are surviving those symptoms. I'm on the first trimester, That one's gonna deal with you 9-9. That one's gonna make you feel like, you know what? I don't need to be a mom. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Because you are nauseous. You are moody. You are so tired. So tired. I remember I would wake up maybe around, 8, 9, and make breakfast because I'm hungry. But then even then, you can't really eat the things that you usually eat. Like eggs are a no-no. I think porridge was the only thing that made sense back then. And really cold green apples, the crunchier the better, and lots of water. And then by the time I'm done with breakfast, I want to sleep again. I'm almost about to fall asleep while I'm still having my last mouthful. That's how ridiculously tired you are. And I remember trying to do some research about it just to better understand. And guys, there's one advice that I'll give to everyone out there who's trying to navigate this. Maybe you're navigating on your own or with your partner or with family. Research really helps. I think the more you understand something, the more you can sympathize with yourself, the more you can educate other people about what you're going through so that they know what to do. Because fear not knowing will definitely conjure up a lot of fear. And I remember just feeling like, before I knew, just feeling like, what is going on with me? But then I looked it up, but what's going on? What actually causes some of these things? And I remember looking up on usual, and Google was telling me that. What did Google tell me? This is another symptom. You forget a lot of things. But Google was telling me that basically all this intense hormone shifting and symptoms that you're experiencing is also because, besides you obviously being pregnant, is you making a new organ, a whole placenta from scratch, something that you never had up until now. And I remember reading that. I remember reading it over and over and being like, oh, actually, that's a lot of work. So, if my body needs to do what it needs to do, if it needs to make me feel a little bit, right now, then so be it. And I remember then it just allowing me to relax a little bit more into this experience. And then, yeah, those are my main 3 symptoms. Please let me know, ladies, what your symptoms were. Because I know there's a plethora of them going down there. Luckily, I wasn't someone who would throw up. Oh, but sweetie, the nausea would be there. Just that feeling of you wanting to throw up. But it just never happens. Constantly. And they must stop calling it morning sickness. It's not morning, it's day sickness, it's night sickness, afternoon, it's sunset sickness, 24/7. Okay, obviously besides you being asleep. But you are constantly sick. Yo! And I think I would love to have an expert come and tell us more about this. Yes, I read on Google what I read, but I need it to be explained just a little bit more. So if there's a doctor out there that you guys love and revere, who's maybe popular on the podcast front, social media, please at them right now, because they need to answer some of our questions. I get, how guys, not those symptoms. Sure. Anywho, done with the symptoms, right? I'm standing, I'm here now. So one thing I can say on the positive side of that is that they are manageable. Definitely manageable. You do see the light at the end of the tunnel. Moving on to keeping it a secret. I think with this one, I only got to experience it the second time around, like I said, because when we experienced the miscarriage, that was my first time being pregnant for real. And I was telling anyone who'd hear, I was just excited to spread the news. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if you need to keep it quiet. The old wives tell you, go to wait 12 weeks at least. I was telling anyone who had ears that was around me. But I like to tell them in person. I don't really do the sending messages and stuff. And I remember, yeah, it just made me feel good, just seeing how excited people were and all that. And then obviously, the outcome that we had, we now had to, we're at crossroads. Do we tell the people? Actually, that journey has come to an abrupt end, unfortunately. And I also wasn't in the mood for their sympathy, So that was also a bit of a tough one. So essentially, I learned my lesson. The second time, the second time I fell pregnant, I kept that quiet. I kept it quiet. Told the people close to me, also people that I go out with, because obviously you're gonna see that I'm not taking a shot no more. Your girlie ain't shotting the tequila no more. Why is that? And just to avoid any of those questions, I would let them know. Obviously, if they're close to me. And that was also quite tough in and of itself, though. You know why you have to keep it quiet, obviously, for the reasons I've mentioned before, but it's good news, man. You want to go to the tops of mountains and shout at the top of your lungs. So trying to keep that part quiet was quite tough. And also, you're experiencing all these symptoms that I've mentioned, and you can't tell anyone. And I remember I was working as well, going through it all. Guys, imagine feeling sleepy at work. And you're like, no, I promise it's not. It's this baby. But you can't say. So, yeah. Another shout out to women that have to endure this, with your 9 to 5s, whatever jobs, site jobs, oh my goodness, under the sun, and you out there fatigue. So, yo, I salute. I salute. And then the mental health. I think this one really, it touches home because this is something that I've been navigating. I still am. I think it needs to be studied more, man. We need to really get into it and explore better remedies out there and create more of an understanding on a societal basis about what pregnant women go through, just for that extra sympathy, because I think you're trying to navigate life like how you were navigating it before. I want to call it normal. And now you have a new normal. Everything has changed. And you can't necessarily express that to everyone or make them understand in a way that you'd like to, because some of the time you don't even understand what's happening. I've had some really dark days, like really, really dark days where I just feel as though I'm not built for this, I'm not enough, and it really gets to you, the dark thoughts. And I'm someone who already had anxiety, right, before. So then I'm also wondering if that's, being exponentialized now because I'm in this situation. And I understand, the biggest advice out there would probably be to seek help. I definitely understand that. But I think even just wrapping your head around knowing when you do need help is something that needs to be talked about and normalized a lot more, and some of the things that we could do every day, needs to be spoken about a lot more. Because now I'm thinking about people who don't have access to a psychiatrist or a psychologist on the dial that they can just go visit, whether it be financial reasons, distance, whatever the case may be, and I myself, I'm not someone who can just, let go of the 1.5 nj to go see someone on a regular basis. So, if there are good outlets out there, maybe you've experienced some sort of anxiety or depression, please do share on the comments, guys, because I think this is something that, like I'm saying, needs to be more of more readily available and accessible to abantu, because it gets dark. There are days I just feel like there's a wave of emotion that's coming and there's no way to prevent it. There's just no way. And you can be looking around and seeing how blessed you are and being so grateful and having a partner that's here, that's doing the best that he can. But suddenly wave ears and it just comes crashing into you, and there's nothing that you can do but just sit in a ball and cry, and sometimes the crying doesn't even help. It's there to offload the built up tension in your body, but that's it. And it's also a lot of work trying to be graceful with yourself and cutting yourself some slack. It's definitely a lot. So yeah, I really sympathize with all the pregnant moms out there right now. I feel yours pain, and I just want you guys to know that you are not alone. Please just send a heart in the... If I get emotional, please just send a heart in the comment section, guys. Just for us to share some love right now, and a little moment of silence through those emojis, because yeah, it's a very lonely space to be in, even when you're surrounded by all the love and support that you can imagine. Those are the downs. I'm not even going to talk about the fear of the unknown. I think that was just heavy enough. But some other topics that I want to go into are essentially like prepping for the birth. So, okay, for me, I like to think I'm an organized person. Okay, no. Who am I kidding? I'm not an organized person. But luckily, I'm paired with someone who is very organized and kind of has his ducks in a row, yabo. So he kind of handles the appointments. He makes sure that everything is aligned. Medical aid is medical aiding, all that good stuff. And for all the people that can afford medical aid and think they don't need it, get medical aid. Get medical aid, or at least a hospital plan. Get it. You just never know, especially Kwesa Simo. You just never know, people. Right. Moving on from that. So I think for me, the biggest prepping that I'm trying to do right now is just my mental prep, right? I'm trying to not scare myself with videos. I think I'll educate as much as I can, and then if I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, then I take a break. No, we're good in terms of that regard. But sweetie, I know it all. I know about perineal massages. I know about colostrum. I know about... Hey, no, kuningi, guys, kuningi. And if you guys want me to dive deep into what those things are, we'll have a session on social media. Unga stress. You guys can ask all the questions that you want to ask there, right? So, yes, when it comes to the prep, no one actually speaks about the post and basically what your life is going to look like those first, 24, 48, 86 hours, yeah. And I remember having a conversation with Ulanda, my husband, about visitors, right? I'm like, you know what? I'm not too sure about having visitors. Obviously, immediate family, especially people who have been here throughout my journey. I think that one is a key one for me. If you have checked up at least 3 times in this 9 months, you see how lenient I'm being. Whether it's via phone call, a message here or there, right? If you have cared about their mother's well-being, then it makes sense for you to check up on the offspring, see how the child is doing. That's understandable. But if you're just this curious person who just wants to see the child, family or not, uzolinda, okay? You're gonna linda. Anyway, I was talking to him about the kissing of the baby. Guys, I've seen some very traumatizing videos about people that are holding the baby, kissing the baby on the mouth, by the eyes. And you know what? As brown colored folk, we are very us and science and medicine sometimes we like to just push it to the side today. I wait too. This is gonna make them strong or whatnot. And it's like let's not test that theory. Please. No kissing of the face. They even said you can kiss the feet. But I'm thinking no, because you kiss the feet, that child puts their toe in their mouth. You do the math. So he's like, I don't know how we're going to make sure that our mothers don't do that. I'm like, I know my mother's not going to do that. I'm going to tell her straight up, Mama, please. And so that's also going to be a very interesting conversation. But then I was like, it's your responsibility to tell your mom not to kiss. If anything, I don't even think you should be kissing the baby, is what I said to him. And he's like, what you mean? And I was like, no, I'm just kidding. But that's how finicky I am, and those are the kind of thoughts that I'm having. I don't even think I want to kiss the baby on the mouth. You know what I mean? Just for a while, guys. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm going to be overwhelmed and what time and flu. Yeah, but a part of me I just don't want my baby to get sick. That's it. that's really it. But please let me know some of the rules that you guys have put in place with your newborns. Maybe you have a funny story from when your parents were pregnant with you or have given birth to you. Some of the wild things that your family members wanted to do and your parents had to set boundaries around that. I know, Lindo, like we don't want you shaking no babies. We don't want you doing nothing. Just look at the baby, see how cute they are, and get it stepping. Also, I think about the postpartum, I think with all the anxiety that I'm experiencing during pregnancy, I can only imagine postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, what that looks like. I hope and pray that I won't experience that, but my mom did experience it, so depending on whether it's hereditary or imeko is like that, I could see myself entering in that dark space. But I think, like I'm saying, I'm literally mentally preparing myself for whatever the case may be, But if I'm starting to feel these certain symptoms, then I know to contact my gynecologist and just let them know that this is what I'm experiencing. And I think speaking up is really going to be important for us ladies who are expecting. And as much as I said, but it's very difficult for us to give ourselves grace. I think when it is kind of life or death, your life is just as important as your baby's life. So please do speak up if you're feeling a bit funny, if you're feeling extra down. I can't wait to do a video with you guys when I'm on the other side, just to let you guys in on my experience and how I'm feeling. Because, sweetie, I'm going to vent there as well. You guys better be ready for some TMI. So also the healing. I've been reading up on a lot of families and a lot of ancient cultures that are around of umama just taking a full 30 to 40 days of being in solitude, just being looked after by her village, being fed highly nutritious food, and her main and top priority just feeding her child and resting and healing. And that is something that I really would love to experience. I'm hoping and praying that life, and God will continue to bless me with this downtime and I'll be able to do that. And my husband will be able to support me in that way, because I really think that prioritizing myself is just as important as prioritizing my child's life. I think I'm only able to be the best mom I can be if I am in the best shape that I can possibly be given the circumstances. So those are the kind of shifts that I've got going in my mind, guys. But obviously the end goal is to be a hot mama. So after all that healing, we gotta hit the gym. Y'all gonna be with me. Don't worry. When I go back to the gym, guys. I can't wait to explore that part, because I think it's so important to, like I'm saying, look after yourself, but also be transparent in all these things that we go through, because hey, it's tough, guys. It's tough. And shout out to all the moms. I've been seeing moms on TikTok, guys, that are killing it in the gym. I love your honesty, your transparency. It's really inspiring. And I'm hoping that now I can be one of those hot mommies, you know what I'm saying, out there doing the most. But yeah, guys, what have we done? What have we gotten ourselves into? But that about sums it up when it comes to my pregnancy journey. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you just a little insight into what I'm experiencing. And I'm hoping that you have resonated with something. If there's something that you would love to share, something that maybe could make my days a little easier, give me more insight, please do. I'm an open book. I'm a bucket ready to be filled with water, the water of your knowledge, of course. And thanks, co-hosts, y'all are killing it. Like I mentioned earlier, love the engagement. Let's keep it coming. As the more engagements we get, the more I'm pumped to put out more content. It's just an ever-flowing cycle, kubone. But thank you so much. This was Pregnancy. I am Buntu Bete, and you were watching WomanWizer. Goodbye.